Dobry day.
Zdravejte.
And welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure.
Well, you've had quite a week.
Yeah, it's been a lovely week.
Again. It started on a high.
It did.
What happened on Saturday?
Our pool arrived.
Oh yes. We all did it through EMAG and got a call on Saturday morning to say the fellow was in the village centre. So I went and picked it up off him. Brought it back. Set it up on our new pool pad.
It fitted.
Thank goodness. Filled it up with water. We're set to go.
Yeah, and it was pretty level, wasn't it?
Very level, as you would expect, the amount of time I spent measuring it. But this is what it's like. So after all the shifting of earth, stacking of mud brick, banging in a rebar, mixing of concrete, pouring of concrete and letting it dry, we now have the base with the pool on it. We've put a layer of cardboard and ground sheets underneath just to protect the bottom of the pool from the concrete, and you can see there on the left hand side there's an area of those foam tiles for us to get in and out the pool without getting mud all over our feet. Now this area will be landscaped, but at the moment this is how it's standing and this is how we're using it. And one of the best features of our pool is the view. This is what you see when you're over this side of the pool, bobbing about, nice and cool. Luxury, eh? You may also notice that the pool is currently in the shade. Now, between 2:30 and 4:30, the large walnut tree at the back here provides natural shade for the pool. So when we're ready to go in mid-afternoon, we can bob about in the pool in the lovely warm water, but not get sunburned. So absolutely ideal. And here we have it, the pool being enjoyed by, well, I'm about to get in myself, but by Lynn and Max. And unlike those pictures you see in the adverts, this isn't Photoshop. They really are in it. That really is the size of the pool. So all that hard work I think was definitely worth it. And now I'm going to reap the benefits of all our labour.
Are you capsizing, Max? What are you doing?
So that's resulted in our daily update meetings in the pool at 3:30 when it's perfectly shaded by the walnut tree.
It is. It's almost like we planned it.
Yeah, almost. But works really well.
Yeah.
Yes, we have our house meetings and decide what jobs we're going to tackle the day after.
That's in between trying to get Max off the lilo, obviously.
Yeah. Max is really enjoying it. But it is so refreshing.
Oh, it's lovely. So yes, that's a real bonus, and we're just in time for July and August, which was the plan.
We weren't expecting quite such a hot end to June.
No.
But...
Or a hot start to June.
Yeah.
It's been a hot month. But yes, so that was Saturday. Sunday we had some visitors.
We did. Ivan and Teresa came to visit. We were thinking of going to the coast for July morning celebrations, but we had Dex with us as well, and we're not sure how he would have taken to crowds, and we weren't sure if there were going to be crowds.
How crowded it was going to be or anything.
So we decided to do it here. We had a lovely evening on Saturday.
In the campsite?
In the campsite.
By a campfire, yeah.
Yeah, no campfire though. We were originally going to.
But it was 30 odd degrees. It was
Yeah,
I'm not lighting a fire, it is.
So we cooked the food on the barbie and then sat in the woodland and had a lovely evening.
Yeah, and then up at before the crack of dawn.
Yeah, before the crack of
dawn. To watch the sunrise. In fact, it looked a bit like this. Well, this is it. Very early morning. July the 1st, we're up on the common. You can see they've done the hay bales. They don't usually do that, so something else to look at. It's a different variety. We'll work our way around. You can probably hear some voices in the background. That's because Lynn and I aren't alone. We've got Ivan and Teresa with us, having our own little personal July morning celebration. And over there is where the sun will be rising.
Yes, so that was a lovely gentle start into the week.
Yeah. And from there we just really potted about. It's been quite nice. And we had rain.
We did. That was the other highlight of our week. Wednesday was quite overcast.
Yes, the temperatures dropped to the mid-20s.
Yeah, and we had proper rain from Tuesday night, a bit of rain on Wednesday.
Yeah, there were storms on Tuesday night, which hit us about midnight.
Luckily we didn't get really bad storms. Some places had incredibly bad
The
hail.
further west you went, the worse it got. So.
But we got off quite lightly just with rain, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of thunder and lightning, but not much.
No. And then yesterday, Thursday, wasn't too hot either. It was building back up again. It was quite strange getting into the pool on Tuesday, where it had been in the sun, and it was hot.
Yeah, it was
getting
almost
hot water. After the rain, it's cooled itself down, so I need to look at some way of controlling the temperature.
Yeah, possibly cooling it down.
Or just not letting it get that hot in the first place. But we'll work something out. When we find something that does work, we'll obviously pass the information on, as is our way.
We couldn't, second day we got in, we just couldn't believe how warm it was.
No, Lynn was saying she's got her bath at last.
Yes, it was like getting into a bath.
The other thing we'll be doing this week, of course, is continuing with the summer kitchen. Now, the working time slot is limited to very early in the morning, so it's not going quite as quickly as we'd like. The other thing that's been holding up is me. I'm just not very good at laying block. But in fact, have a look at this. This week, among other things, I've been carrying on with this wall for the summer kitchen. Now what's going to happen is we're going to put another course of blocks on there, then a worktop across the top, and that'll be our cooking and preparing area. There'll be other stuff, but you'll see that when it comes. Now, it's the first time I've laid block, and I can tell you, it's not easy. I'm a complete novice at this. Now, I've watched a lot of videos where they come along and go, yep, you do this, you boom, 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 you're done, off you go. Well, when you're starting out, it doesn't work like that. I found a few things that make the job slightly easier, so I'm going to let you know what they are in case you need to do it. Now, this isn't a how-to video, this is a how I managed to do it video. So, if I get this wrong, I get it wrong. But so far, it's working for me. The first tip is about materials, and most importantly, the sand that you make the mortar out of. Now, when I have mine delivered, it's on the back of a lorry with the gravel we had delivered. Kind of mixed together a bit, so I'm getting lumps of gravel and small stones in with the sand. Now, that's not a problem if you're mixing up cement, but if you're doing mortar where you want it smooth and be able to manipulate the bricks, they get in the way, they stop it dropping down, so you've got to get those out. I've been sifting the sand. I didn't do that with the first block, and it was very frustrating. On my last row of block, I did it, went on a lot easier. So make sure your sand is sand and not sand and gravel. And this is how much gravel and stone I got out of that half bucket of sand. Now, this explains why me trying to use it with the stone in was so frustrating on the first day. There's no way you can use mortar that's got that much stone in it. So it took a little bit of time, but it's certainly worth the effort because it makes the job a whole lot easier. When it comes to actually mixing up the mortar, I found it's easier to do it in small batches in the wheelbarrow rather than the cement mixer. Now, the reason for that is you can see the consistency a lot easier as it's mixing. You can decide if you've got enough water, if it's wet enough, if it's too dry, all that sort of stuff. And also you don't want to mix up a little tiny batch in a mixer because I don't think it mixes properly. I'm only doing small batches because I'm very slow at laying block, so I don't want to mix too much and have it go off. So I'll mix it in the wheelbarrow, get it to the consistency I want, and then I'm ready to lay my block. Once you've made your mortar, you need to keep playing with it to get the feel, see if it's right for you. Now what you want is when you get it onto there, you don't want it falling off. One way of stopping it doing that is if you get it on there and you give it a flick like that, hopefully it'll stay on. And then it's easier to use to put on the walls. You'll also notice that the blocks are the other way up from the first layer I did. Now I found there's a void on the block at one side and a flat side on the other. I was laying it with the void upwards, which meant when I was trying to get the mortar along each side, it was dropping down the holes and I was putting more mortar into the block than I was along the edge. Now research shows me that maybe this is the way to put them up. I don't know, although if you're using rebar in them, there's a groove along the top for you to put the rebar in, so maybe the other way up is correct. Like I say, I don't really know, but this is what's working for me. So I've got them this way up so that the mortar doesn't fall down the holes, stays on the edges, and I actually use it for putting the block together rather than just filling up gaps. The very last thing I found is how to use the trowel to put the mortar along the edges. Now it's not as easy as you would think. I'm very tempted to use the back of it because it just seems more natural this way, but that's not the way you use the trowel. The way you're supposed to do it is get your mortar on the trowel, get the mortar on the trowel, put the nose in, turn it over and scrape it on. Now you can see I'm still not very good at this, and I do it in small amounts, but I am getting the mortar onto the wall, which means I can then get the block onto the wall and get my wall laid. So that's where we're at now. We're 4 blocks high on the supports for the worktop. I've got to put 3 kind of supporting pillars to support the concrete worktop that we're going to be pouring. But in terms of laying block wall, we're there. Quite solid, which is quite a surprise. But yeah, it's worked out quite nicely in the end. It was a bit of a struggle, but we got there. Now, like I say, we'll put the supports in, we'll put the concrete support for the tiled worktop we're going to have, but you'll see that in weeks to come, hopefully next week. But in the meantime, I think we'll leave it there, won't we? Yeah.
Yes, I think as new jobs that you've tackled goes, it's definitely one of the ones that Adam's struggled with.
Yeah, there were differing reasons, but most of it was just lack of knowledge, lack of experience.
Yeah.
Lack of patience.
Lack of patience. Yes, Tuesday wasn't a good day, but
No, Tuesday
Monday
wasn't bad. It was Sunday.
It was Sunday that was a bad day. Sunday you had a really bad day with it and nearly took it down again and started.
Yeah, the toys came out the pram.
They did.
But I'm slowly getting better. Like
Monday,
most
Tuesday,
things,
great improvement.
Yeah. Like most things, just as I'm getting to the end of it, I'm getting
better.
Better at it. I wouldn't say good at it, but better at it.
And you did have a stop day when we had the rain in the morning.
Yeah, so I couldn't carry on there. But no, I kind of, it's coming together now. We can see evidence of how it's going to look when we finish.
Yeah.
So that's always encouraging.
And the majority of the bricklaying is now finished.
Yeah. Next is concrete worktop. Never done that before. How bad could it be?
Luckily, we're going to tile them as well, so
Yeah.
it hasn't got to be perfect.
No, it won't be. Yeah, so that's been our week really,
Yeah, another lovely, enjoyable week here in Bulgaria.
with gorgeous weather and a bit of rain. Lovely.
Just what we needed.
So until next week, I think it's time for us to say,
Stay safe.
be well.
Do skoro.
Do skoro.